Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Swamiji.
Please chant the Mangalacharan prayers, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakatamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatambitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. And thank you, devotees, for your wonderful association. So we shall, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. So we shall be today discussing further on Srila Prabhupada's amazing adventures in India. Not in India. So today we are now outside India. And we will come back to India in a little while. So Prabhupada has gone to Malaysia. So as we said in the last session, no one expected that Prabhupada would leave. So I have just quoted a few lines from what Madhudvisha Prabhu was speaking. No one really thought Prabhupada was leaving India. Here he was the cutting edge, the real force. Things were moving because of him. In the West, Srila Prabhupada would give the idea and devotees would expand on it. But in India, he was right in the thick of it. Because for the foreigner disciples, India is a completely new place. Language, culture, the people, everything is different. And how to interact with them, how to preach to them, how to raise funds from them, all these things were totally new experience for them. Whether it was Europe or America, they were able to do it under guidance of Prabhupada. But here in India, they are completely helpless. So they thought Prabhupada is meeting with such amazing success. So Prabhupada will never leave India now because Prabhupada's aim is now achieved. Outside India, he has done the preaching and he has brought the foreigner disciples to India. And here he has introduced them to the Indian culture, Indian Vedic civilization, and how to do worship here in India. So they thought Prabhupada would not leave. Like they thought every time. When Prabhupada started a temple in New York, 2nd Avenue, everyone thought, okay, this is where we are all going to be. Swamiji will be with us always. He will never leave us. This movement is not going to grow. This is the only temple. This Swamiji is such an advanced age. He has so kindly come to us from India and he will be our spiritual master. He will be there to guide us forever. They thought like that. But suddenly Prabhupada registered ISKCON. What is I? International. So they were shocked. What is this international? This is only one small temple in the downtown New York. But Prabhupada had plans. And very soon the movement started spreading to San Francisco and to other places. Then Prabhupada sent 3 families to London, and suddenly it had also covered 2 continents, America and Europe. So like that, it started spreading like wildfire. And simply Prabhupada said what at one point of time, one person is enough to start a center. One person is enough. You go and you go with some kartal and you start doing some preaching. And of course, everyone should know cooking, how to do kirtan, how to preach, how to distribute books, how to raise funds, how to spend money. Everyone should know. All the philosophy, everything you should know. So one person is enough. Like I came here alone and I have started this mission. So everyone should be able to go any place and start a center. And Prabhupada proved it. He sent Mukunda to San Francisco, and there a temple came. And then he sent these 3 couples to London, and with great struggle, they brought an amazing temple in Soho Street. And then the record, Hare Krishna record came, and suddenly it was a household name throughout the world. It was in top of the pops in many countries of the world. And then they were inviting the devotees who made the record to come and play on the stage live. And everybody was loving it, actually. So like that. So every time they think now we understand what Prabhupada is going to do, Prabhupada would do exactly the opposite. So now Prabhupada, after making such a success in India, he is leaving India. His itinerary was indefinite, not exactly what he's going to do, when he's going to be where, nobody knows. But suddenly, main plan is to travel widely for a few months widely, all continents. Then back to US, then London, and back to India via London. There's a plan. So Prabhupada is now, his main plan is to visit Australia and Malaysia. And then he's waiting for going to Soviet Russia also, waiting for the necessary permission behind the Iron Curtain. So Prabhupada is just waiting for that to happen. So now Prabhupada is in Malaysia, right? First place out of India, he has gone to Malaysia. Now let us see what's happening there. We have already discussed that. Prabhupada had sent an advance party. A few brahmacharis were already there in Malaysia and doing the preaching. And they are having good success because more than 1 million Indians are living there in Malaysia and they are receptive. Even though it's a predominantly Muslim country and a lot of Chinese are there, but still the Indians are very receptive, supportive. And a South Indian couple, one of them is a doctor also, they offered to even give land. And they said, we will build a temple for you. Only thing, they had some conditionalities. Prabhupada agreed to the conditions. Let us go ahead with the temple. So there was going to be a temple also in Malaysia. And Prabhupada was staying in a wealthy Sindhi family. But when Prabhupada came to know that they are meat eaters, Prabhupada did not eat anything except milk and fruits. Prabhupada's disciples thought, the disciples were practicing like this, that if somebody is a meat eater and we have to stay in their house because we don't have a choice, then we will not eat what they cook, but we will cook ourselves. We will take vessels which are not used by them, but we will use their kitchen and cook and we will eat. But Prabhupada had higher standards. Prabhupada said, in a meat eater's house, I don't want to eat the food at all, cooked food. So only milk and fruits Prabhupada will take. So disciples realize, okay, we should always aspire for higher and higher standards. So then in their house, Prabhupada also saw one huge hall, almost like a storeroom. 50 sets of Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana, marble deities are there. Like a collector's display, but more than an item for worship. Prabhupada was not impressed. Even though 50 sets of Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana temples, deities means, Prabhupada could have taken them to so many temples and installed them, but Prabhupada did not show much interest. And then, okay, Malaysia is done. And Prabhupada preached, again, you see, fearlessly to the hosts who are supporting him, who are going to help him bring out the temple. Still, Prabhupada spoke strongly against meat eating. And in their house also, Prabhupada fasted, the South Indian couple, because they were also meat eaters. So Prabhupada fasted. And he preached to the doctor against abortions. So you see, Prabhupada doesn't mind being unpopular. It is very unpopular, right? If you are going to the house of a big shot who is very, very wealthy, and he wants to support your ISKCON movement also, and they are living a very high life, and how they are earning their money from sinful activities. And if you directly attack that sinful activity, how they will feel? What is this? You are my guest, and I have hosted you so nicely. I've been so graceful to you, and you are attacking me. But Prabhupada doesn't care because he sees everyone as soul. You are a soul, and I have to help you. I have to guide you. That's all. I don't really care if you throw me out of your house, but I am interested in your welfare, first and foremost. So when Prabhupada speaks to reporters also, see, usually when we speak to a reporter, what we will do, we will try to present some nice things so that they will put it in the newspaper or in the television. They will say some good things. Is it not? But Prabhupada, when he speaks to a reporter, he doesn't see that person as a professional. Prabhupada sees that person as a soul. So, like Prabhupada preaches to everybody else, Prabhupada speaks to the reporter also. Similarly, when Prabhupada goes to a radio station or a television station, there is an interviewer speaking to Prabhupada. They want to provoke Prabhupada to say certain things for the audience. But Prabhupada speaks directly to the presenter. He's a soul. Prabhupada preaches to him. Even after the interview is over. Okay, Prabhupada, time is up. Now you can leave. But Prabhupada is still sitting and preaching. So this is the style of Prabhupada. So now Prabhupada has come to Sydney. Now what I am going to do, unlike always that I just go on talking. Now I am going to make it more like a book reading session because I don't want you to miss out on many of these things. So I will speak something, but more I will try to read from the books where you can relate these empowered words of Sasrupa Goswami Maharaj. He is glorifying his spiritual master. So let us hear from him directly. So Prabhupada has now come to Sydney. And devotees in Sydney, they were not actually expecting that Prabhupada would come. The reason is, just before Prabhupada came, there was a telegram saying that Prabhupada is coming, be ready. That message came to Sydney temple. Little later, another telegram came. Prabhupada is not coming. Balimardana is coming, who is Prabhupada's representative for Australia. He will come. So third telegram came after a while saying, arriving like that. So they thought Balimardana only is coming, Prabhupada's representative. So the temple people, a few of them went to the airport to receive him. They took a small garland, Mahagarland from the deity, and they were waiting. The airplane landed, and then they saw Prabhupada is coming out of the airplane. They were not expecting him at all. So there was a mix-up in the messages. The second message, it said, he is coming, instead of saying, Srila Prabhupada is coming. So they all understood like that. So what happened? Prabhupada came, and the devotees who had taken only a small garland, they were flabbergasted. Oh, Prabhupada appeared with a white attache case in his left hand, a cane in his right, a lightweight chadar around his shoulders. You can picture Srila Prabhupada, right, in your mind. White attache case that Prabhupada used to carry for many years. White attache case in left hand, a cane in the right hand, a lightweight chadar around his shoulder. And Srila Prabhupada entered the airport. And the reporters had come. The reporters from the press, they had also come thinking Balimardana was coming. But then now they see Prabhupada. So they are interviewing Prabhupada. So they asked him, one reporter had asked, why you have come to Australia? So can you understand the sense behind this question? Why have you come to Australia? The sense behind it is, you are a Hindu, you are an Indian, and India is so far away. India has its own ancient culture which we don't respect anymore. We are all Christians. Our religion is Christianity, and we are all practicing Christians. So why an Indian A brown skin from all the way India, why has to come to Australia? What is there for you to give? Hmm? So Prabhupada replied beautifully, I am a salesman. As a salesman, I look for customers everywhere. I am searching for anyone intelligent enough to accept the message of Krishna. Right? So I am a salesman. Salesman will go all over the world, correct? So this is a very commercial answer. As a salesman, I go everywhere. But then I look for intelligent people. Whoever will accept the goods I am carrying, I will give it to him. That goods, what is the goods? Message of Krishna. Whoever is receptive, I will give it to him. So as a salesman, you cannot ask me why I came. I came to make sales. You cannot dispute that. Then Prabhupada said, answered the inner question of the reporter. Prabhupada said, everywhere is a land of Krishna. This world belongs to God. This world belongs to God. Who created it? So what is all these boundaries, artificial boundaries? This is my country, that is your country. From your country, you cannot come to my country. You need a visa. You need to follow our rules. Our land has got its own law. Nonsense. Prabhupada says, one world, and that world belongs to Krishna. And I am Krishna's representative. I will go in. The demarcation you have in the name of nationalities, America, Australia, Argentina, Brazil, like that. This is all man-made, not made by God. You get the point? So this is the boldness of Prabhupada. He will disarm them by his straightforward answers, which it goes to the heart. No one can counter-argue what Prabhupada says. First of all, he said, I am a salesman. So salesman will go for making sales. And what is my sales? I am selling the message of Krishna. Anyone intelligent enough, there is a punchline there. He is telling the reporter also, if you are intelligent enough, I can make a sale to you also. If you are interested in the message of Krishna, I will give it to you. As a salesman, I have no particular preferences or prejudices. Anyone intelligent enough, I will give it to them. And boundaries, what you are talking about, your country, my country, that's all bogus. There is no your country, my country. The whole world belongs to God. And we are all his children. All the boundaries are man-made. They have no meaning, at least when it comes to spirituality. When you see the spirit, then there is no artificial boundary there. Now, Prabhupada has reached the temple. Okay, I am going to read from the book a few paragraphs. So, one devotee hurried to phone the temple from the airport. Prabhupada is come. Prabhupada is come, like that. So, this temple in Sydney was a one-room storefront on a main business thoroughfare. On a very busy road, this temple is located, the Sydney temple. But it is only a one-room storefront. Usually, we see multi-storied buildings on the ground floor, on the front of the road. They are basically shop windows, correct? So, in the window, there will be some display, and behind that, there will be a shop, and some shopkeeper will be sitting like that. Small shop. That is what has now become a temple. On the storefront's plate glass window, one devotee had painted a picture of Radha Krishna. So on the glass pane, there is Radha Krishna painting. Prabhupada entered the room and found it was bare, except a simple wooden altar with 3-inch Jagannath deities and a big cloth-covered Vyasasana. An old rug hid the floor. Floor is dirty and broken, whatever. It's covered by an old rug. And there was a blue haze throughout the temple hall. Why? Because downstairs there is kitchen and they are quickly preparing something for Prabhupada and they are doing tadka. And because of that, huge smell is coming. They are burning jeera in oil or ghee. And that is, the smell is coming and the smoke is there. Prabhupada remained grave as he walked deliberately. See the temple, the front door is there, Prabhupada has entered, then there is a back door, correct? Prabhupada goes and opens the back door. The, the devotees are hoping he won't open. They never thought he will open. He has come from the front door. Now he is in the temple. The altar is there. He has to sit in the Vyasasana. He has to give class, say something, and then leave. What is the business Prabhupada has got to open the rear door? Yeah, this is a question to all of you. Can anyone say something? Why Prabhupada is opening the rear door? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, he wanted to see what type of an atmosphere was there, because whether it is suitable for the temple or not, whether Radha Krishna's deity could be kept out there, and bhajans and kirtanas could be done.
Yeah.
So he was not happy with the unhealthy atmosphere which was there. Was not happy about it actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mataji, that's very right. Actually, see, usually it happens everywhere. You know, when the boss is coming, somebody high up from some other place is coming, what we do? We spruce up the place temporarily, correct? Even when the VIP minister, MLA is coming, what they do? They put some main thing, bleaching powder on both sides of the road to mask the smell of maybe urine or dung water. They put both sides, they put this bleaching powder. So the smell of bleaching powder will be there and everything will look white. Temporarily, they will sweep the floor and all those things. And all the garbage.
Particular about cleanliness.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
They will dump when they clean the room. They will dump everything in the backyard and behind the door, so that when they come in the from the front door, they can see the room very clean. But before cleaning, they'll dump everything in the backside of the door, so that they will think that they will not go and see behind the door. So that will also be one of the reasons.
Exactly. So Prabhupada is a very sharp person. He was a family man, he was a businessman, he has been managing so many temples. So Prabhupada knew exactly where to look. That is, he looked in the place where the devotees are praying, he will not look. He went straight and opened the rear door. And what did he see? He saw garbage and boards stacked high against the walls of the building. His gravity turned to sternness. What is all this? He asked. Someone tried an explanation. Unsatisfactory. A devotee brought a glass of milk to Prabhupada. Too hot, Prabhupada said. And the devotee took it away. Prabhupada sat on the large Vyasasana. So, every moment Prabhupada is giving a message, right? He has come to a new continent for the first time. Sydney temple, newly started temple, going on for some time. But Prabhupada's first visit here. And with his every move, every glance, every movement of his head and body, he is giving messages and devotees are receiving. And you have to remember, see, you are not serving a simple boss of this material world, correct? You are serving the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord sees everywhere, correct? What is the point in putting everything behind the rear door? Supreme Lord sees everywhere, everything. So how can you say, no, the God will see only within the temple, outside the temple, God will. Correct? So Prabhupada is teaching them, be conscious of God who is watching you. All the time, everywhere. He cannot do something for show. You have to do from the heart. When you do from the heart, this will not happen. Not only the temple inside, but around the temple also, you will keep it clean. Because you know, everything belongs to Krishna. So today morning, every Wednesday, we usually always have Prabhupada class in the temple, ISKCON Chennai. So today also we had Prabhupada class in ISKCON Chennai. And this was a class Prabhupada gave in Mayapur in 1976. Right? And middle of the class, Prabhupada is saying, the condition of the toilet, what I saw, was horrible. Prabhupada is saying. Immediately I shouted, I made noises, I expressed my unhappiness. And all of you people who have come here, you have come for Brahman initiation. You are sitting in front of me. You all have come for Brahman initiation. You all visited the toilet. You used it. But you are all silent. You have accepted it as it is. So there is a problem. Prabhupada gives immediately some analogy. What Prabhupada says? When like elements meet, there is no reaction. Water and water, fire and fire, air and air, acid and acid, alkali and alkali. Same element, when they meet, nothing happens. When contrasting elements meet, then there is effervescence. Water and fire meet, then there is steam. Same way, acid and alkali meet, then there is effervescence. Smoke will come and some salt will form, some reactions will happen. And Prabhupada says, same way, we have three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo guna. And sattva guna means cleanliness of inside and outside. Inside and outside, cleanliness. That is sattva guna. So Prabhupada said, Brahmana means sattva guna. So you have all come to take Brahman Diksha. That means you should be in sattva guna. I am going to give you Yajnopavit. I am going to give Gayatri Mantra. And you are supposed to be Brahmanas. So if sattva guna meets tamo guna, which is the toilet condition, it's so dirty, so filthy, so ugly, it is filled with rajo tamo guna. So when you meet that toilet and you don't react, if it does nothing to you, that means you are also in tamo guna. Am I making sense? Please listen carefully. Take this message to heart. Very, very important that we should take it to our heart. If you are in sattva guna and the toilet was in tamo guna or rajo guna, there would have been a reaction. Like it happened when I went, Prabhupada is saying, when I went, there was a reaction. I wanted the toilet to be cleaned immediately. I shouted. I became angry. I became upset. That is because sattva was meeting tamo. But you people, you have come for Brahman Diksha. But you also went there. There was no reaction. It is very regrettable. Prabhupada says, I am sorry. It should not happen. And then Prabhupada said, it must be a rule in our ISKCON that if anyone has to take Brahman Diksha, they should come to Sattva Guna. And Sattva Guna, main quality is cleanliness. Prabhupada is very particular about cleanliness. Even the other day, we were talking about how Prabhupada taught one of the ladies, Kausalya, how to clean the temple floor. Right? Prabhupada personally sat down and he showed her sitting. He was cleaning one small part of the temple hall, then drying it, then a little more portion he would, with a wet cloth, then dry cloth, move slowly, without stepping on the floor that has been already cleaned. Gradually, he was cleaning. He showed that. So cleanliness is very important. And especially when we come for Brahman Diksha, which means you are getting qualification for deity worship. So you are going to be given Pancharatri mantras. And you are going to be given a Brahman thread. And you will be declared as a Brahman. A Brahmin means Sattva Guna. So when you take Brahman Diksha, you should have come to the platform of Sattva Guna. So Prabhupada said, I am talking about today morning lecture, what I heard, Prabhupada's lecture. 1976 May in Mayapur, Prabhupada was talking about the condition of a toilet in ISKCON temple. And with that, he was passing comments about the people who are tolerating it. Okay. So now in Sydney, Prabhupada is giving the same message. Right? So, okay, then Prabhupada is sitting in the Vyasasana. He looked around the room at each face. Prabhupada is looking at everyone. None of them has seen Prabhupada before. None of them. And Prabhupada has not seen them before. There are about 15 people. Some of them had been initiated by mail. Their names were given, deeds were given, everything on mail. First time they are seeing Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is looking at all of them. They were untrained. The carpet was dirty, Prabhupada said. It should be replaced. Why there were no flowers on the altar? I have brought Radha Krishna deities. But before the deities could begin the worship, before devotees can begin the worship, everything must be very clean. So, this is the standard for the temple, and this is the standard for our home. When we welcome deities into our home, we realize that this home belongs to the deities. We cannot keep any corner of the house unclean also, because the whole house belongs to the deity. So if we consider Prabhupada as our eternal Siksha Guru, then we are reading Prabhupada's Leelamrit and we are hearing about incidents that happened maybe 50 years ago. We should not feel distant from it. We should not think Prabhupada spoke to somebody at a different time, place, and circumstances. It was meant for a different set of people. I'm just listening to a story and relishing it. Then we will miss the whole point. The whole Prabhupada Leelamrita is a book of instructions for all of us. So we should have that mood as we listen to what we see here. So before they begin the worship, everything must be very clean. We cannot simply do the worship and go away. Many temples here we see in India, they are not kept very clean. The pujari will come, he will do the abhishekam, he will dry the deity, and he will put some garland, he will tie the same old dirty dhoti around the waist, and he will do some arti, and he will go away. Nobody will care the cleanliness of the dress the deity is wearing, the place where the deity is sitting. Nobody will care. But Prabhupada is telling, everything must be clean. The devotees would have to become Brahmanas before they could worship Radha and Krishna. Same message what I told you, in the morning Prabhupada's lecture in Mayapur. Same thing Prabhupada is telling in Sydney. So message is same everywhere. If we are receptive, our hearts will change very quickly. Prabhupada will keep saying the same things everywhere because Prabhupada doesn't have any internal agenda. Prabhupada's only agenda is to make us all go back home, back to Godhead. He is interested in each and every one of us equally, just like God is like that. For God, all of us are his children. So he's equally interested in all of us. So that way, many practical things they did not know. The devotees here in Sydney, they did not know because they had never met his Prabhupada. Prabhupada's representative Balimardana, Upendra, they had come, opened the Sydney temple, but they had gone away for other work in other centers. So there was not much preaching here. So as a result, they did not know how to cook, how to lecture from Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, how to do deity worship. They did not know any of these things. But even though there is lack of training, lack of experience, and lack of philosophical knowledge, Prabhupada saw one thing. What is that one thing? Their faith. They had a strong faith. They had accepted Prabhupada as a pure devotee, directly in touch with God. And they accepted his books as truth. So Prabhupada saw, even though Krishna consciousness was not there in them fully, but faith was there. And Prabhupada realized, if faith is there, I can teach them everything. I can teach them everything. So Prabhupada was not unhappy to see them. Actually, what they were doing, all these days, even though they did not know philosophy or anything, they knew Prabhupada wanted public chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and distribution of back to Godhead. So these devotees in Sydney, they were doing it daily. They did it daily, going in the street for hours. Despite frequent arrest, they would be arrested for going out on the street. They did not care. They continued with the Sankirtana. Sincerity they had. They only lacked training, right? So Prabhupada is not unhappy with them. Even though he's shouting, he's getting angry for their benefit. But Prabhupada is not unhappy with them. Yeah? So this is important thing that we should note, right? Very important that we should note these things, that actually Prabhupada is looking for Shraddha. If Shraddha is there, everything else can follow. Yeah. I hope you have all got that message. We should work on our Shraddha. With Shraddha, if you listen to Prabhupada, your hearts will change. With Shraddha, you try to implement what Prabhupada is saying, you will be successful. Shraddha is what you need. Shraddha that Prabhupada is a pure devotee. He is a pure representative of Krishna. His books represent the absolute truth. If you have faith like that, then your life can be transformed. One devotee brought lunch to Prabhupada, poorly cooked. Half the chapati is burned, half the chapati is not properly baked. So Prabhupada became angry at the devotee. And Prabhupada said, if you did not know how to cook, why you didn't tell me? I can show you, that's all. So please understand, this also Prabhupada would always say, do not concoct. What is that? Do not concoct. If you have doubt, you ask me. You remember when Prabhupada was in Japan, they were trying to do a Vyas Puja for Prabhupada, but they did not know how to do. And they were concocting. Prabhupada became very angry. Then Prabhupada said, if you don't know, ask me. Then Prabhupada took everybody to his room. He coached them. What is Vyas Puja? How to do it? So he had one more Vyas Puja. His birthday was finished. But next day, there was one more Vyas Puja. And they had a simple, nice Vyas Puja. Everyone was happy. Then they realized, no concocting. Simply follow the parampara and you will be crowned with success. Right? Okay. So Prabhupada said, I can show you. So Prabhupada followed the devotee to the kitchen. And in the kitchen, they had some dough. They were trying to make kachoris out of it for Prabhupada. They knew that this is the atta, this is what I have to do, dough is ready, and I have to knead it into a thin sheet, and I have to put the contents correctly, then I have to close it nicely, and I have to seal the corners, and I have to fry it. They knew, but they did not know it was not coming all right for them. So Prabhupada showed them. He made same dough, he used same inputs. Prabhupada made nice kachoris. Okay, then another devotee came. Now they have some courage. Oh, Prabhupada is teaching us. So another devotee came. I don't know how to make chapatis, Prabhupada. Because we don't get open flame. You know, our stove is all gas plate, these electric plates. So there is no flame. And because flame is not there, my chapati is not rising, not puffing up. So Prabhupada said, I will show you. Again, Prabhupada used the same dough and he made chapati and he put it on the same hot plate and it puffed up. Prabhupada made one more, it puffed up. Third, fourth, fifth, all the chapatis nicely rose up and the devotees are watching in amazement. After Prabhupada left, they understood, okay, now we know how to make it. They now again tried to make chapatis. It was not rising. So they thought, oh, Prabhupada has some magic. Yeah. But of course, these devotees who are really serious, they will learn. Correct? So that is a key. If you have doubts, you can ask your spiritual master, get clarified. You should not live with doubts and you should not concoct. Krishna conscious movement is not for concocting. Concoctions are going in Jnana Marga. Everybody will say, Prabhupada will say, no? Prabhupada says, don't say, I think. Don't say, perhaps, it may be. Prabhupada doesn't like any of this language. Prabhupada says, this is the language of scientists. And this is the language of mental speculators. Maybe there was a chunk, maybe there was an explosion, big bang, and somehow all these things have come by accident. I think it. So Prabhupada hates this. Prabhupada says, there is a need for you to think. There is a need for any research. Why all this may be, could be, etc. The scripture is there. Just take it. It is there for you. God has given. Take it. So Prabhupada would say that always. So here, practically also, in the kitchen, we concoct, learn, I am teaching you. So not only in practical matters, but also in philosophical matters, there should be no concoction. So there is a message here. Now, Prabhupada had brought Radha Krishna deities all the way from Bombay. Right? Bombay Pandal program, he used Radha Krishna deities, big 4-foot deities. The same deities is now traveling with them to Malaysia, and from Malaysia has brought them to Sydney. His intention is to install these deities in this place where not a single trained devotee is there. They are not initiated also. Only a few of them initiated by post. So they have no training practically. But Prabhupada still wants to install Radhakrishna deities here. He found the temple was dirty. People did not know to make garlands. They did not know how to make dresses. They did not know how to decorate the deities. With all these things, Prabhupada was still going to install the deities. Right? So this is something amazing which is happening. So Satsarup Goswami Maharaj writes, Prabhupada's activities are most grave and their deeper meaning eludes an observer. So he is admitting, I don't know the meaning. Why Prabhupada wanted to install these 4-foot Radhakrishna deities in Sydney, of all places? No proper devotees, no proper guide, no training. Why? He says, I am only reporting to you what happened. I don't know the deeper meaning. He says, same way Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. By the way, how many of you are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita? Sorry, I keep asking these questions time and again. Just interested to know if anyone is reading Chaitanya Charitamrita among our group.
Prabhuji, planning to read in Damodar month, Prabhuji.
Very. My prayers that you should succeed.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Balaram Shakti Das Prabhu is taking classes from last week, Prabhuji, from last week Tuesday and Wednesday from 8:30 to 8 to 9:30 is taking classes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
On Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Wonderful. You can join that, and maybe you can put the link in the group also. If devotees
Yes, Prabhuji.
join,
I'll put Prabhuji.
they can use it.
In Srila Prabhupada Leela, this group only, no, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay. Correct.
So in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, we see that same mood. That's why I wanted to say that. What was I saying? What did I say? Because I forgot the thread.
Because Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you were saying like we don't understand what Srila Prabhupada's actions mean.
Correct, exactly. Same way, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I am just reporting things as it happened. Deeper meanings, I don't know. And every action, every glance of Mahaprabhu has multiple meanings. And they are so deep that no one can understand. But he achieves many purposes by his one simple act also. So every moment what Mahaprabhu was doing, he stayed in this planet for 48 years. That can be explained for maybe years together. So he says, I am only reporting to you devotees. I am just telling you facts as they are. What happened. So this is true for the Lord and his pure devotees also. Satsur Maharaj is saying the same thing here. He says, deeper meaning eludes an observer. I don't know why. Yeah, so he is also quoting that. I didn't see. Of Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, I do not know the deep meaning of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. I am just trying to describe them externally. So devotees, the point is, please try to listen to Srila Prabhupada's life with great humility. That's what it means. When we are humble, we understand more things. We become receptive. If a heart is not humble, we will think, what is the same thing we are hearing again and again? I have heard it before, so many things. Damodar Leela, I know what Damodar Leela. How many times you will say this? Narsingha Leela, how many times? Then nothing will enter. Your head is sealed. After that, nothing will go. Whereas, if you realize that I am a soul with no realization practically, then you open up. I have no knowledge at all. I don't know anything. In that mood, if you listen, the same thing you have listened 1,000 times before, it will throw new meaning every time. Every time it will throw new meaning. So spiritual subject matter is very different from material subject matter. Say, for example, material subject matters we study in school, college. There are the teachers. They have read the books. They have understood the books and they are teaching. And from them you learn and you understand the books. So the teacher is separate, the book is separate, the student is separate. Correct? This is material science. material learning. But spiritual learning is not like that. There is no difference between the book and the teacher. They are the same. The teacher has not just read and understood, he has realized the contents. That's why we say book Bhagavata, person Bhagavata. They are both Bhagavata. They both belong to God. It's the same thing. So you have to learn the book Bhagavata through a person Bhagavata, and then you become a Bhagavata by listening to that in the right mood, in the right consciousness. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. So here, the preacher tries to understand, realize, practice in their life, and then preach. So what happens? It's a powerful mix. Unfortunately, today, the world religions don't have this system. They don't have a system that the preacher should realize and practice and then preach. That system we have in our parampara system. This is our parampara system. Because it is not there, other religions are steadily degraded, including Hindu religion. We see it here in the parampara system where it is followed, the purity is maintained. But when parampara system is not there, it degenerates into a commercial activity. The teacher is teaching for some money. The student is learning for earning some money. There's no question of faith in the subject matter. I am learning to become a teacher myself. And then I will teach others and I will make more students. And some of them will become teachers. Everything is for money ultimately. It is for my sustenance, my maintenance. I want a house, I want a family, I want a wife, children and everything. I want to have a good life. That is my purpose. For that purpose, I have read this book, this religious book. And this religious book I am teaching to others. That way it will not work. There is no concept of Bhagavatam here. The teacher is not a Bhagavata. The teacher is simply a teacher. It doesn't work that way. So please realize how fortunate we are here. Even though I am not a realized person and you are hearing from me, but at least I have faith in the subject matter that I am speaking. And I have the humility to admit that I have not realized these subject matters, but I have faith in them. I have faith in my teacher. I have faith in the book. And I am struggling to practice it in my life. And I am sharing it with you, not as a teacher. I am just sharing it with you. If this mood will prevail, then the movement's purity will be preserved. And people will get benefit. The people who listen will get benefit. But everybody should maintain this mood. That I do not know, but it is descending from the parampara. And I have belief in the parampara. And I have belief in the scripture. And I am struggling to realize it myself. And I am trying to implement it in my life. I realize that this is the only thing that matters in my life. So even though it's still a struggle because of the past vasanas and anarthas of the heart, but still what I believe, I am sharing with others in a spirit of gratitude to the masters who gave it to me. So only I am not trying to gain anything from this exercise, either in terms of wealth or name or fame, puja, labha, pratishtha. No, this is just a gratitude. I have already received so much from the parampara. So how will I repay at least something to them? If in that mood, if my preaching happens, then the Lord will make it work. The Lord will make it work. The sincere speaker, the sincere audience, then the Lord will make the reaction happen. He will make it work. So this is the secret of Krishna consciousness. And we should all be very happy to connect to this in the same spirit. We should have this spirit always of sincerity, of humility, of transparency, of trying to share in a spirit of gratitude. So that's what we see here. Okay, now Prabhupada is going to install the deities, the more serious, the core part, we are now coming to that. Why Prabhupada brought the deities here, we don't know. The temple devotees, they are not ready. The temple is a very bare storefront only, no proper facilities, altar is not proper, flowers are not there, dresses are not there, devotees are untrained, they don't know how to cook for Krishna, they don't know how to clean the temple for Krishna, they don't know how to decorate Krishna. They don't know how to give Bhagavatam classes. They don't know how to conduct the morning programs. Nothing. They know to go out in the streets every day without fail. Rain or shine, arrest. Sometimes they get arrested. They don't care. Prabhupada wants it. If I do it, Prabhupada will be pleased. And that is what I want. I want my spiritual master should be pleased. So they go out, do kirtan, distribute books, get arrested. No problem. Tomorrow they are back again. So Prabhupada is happy with them. Untrained people, they are not showing, they are not show bottle. They are genuine, they are sincere, transparent. So Prabhupada is installing the deities here. There's a huge crowd. TV crew are filming, and so many people have come to watch. And Prabhupada is chasing everybody. Come on, where are the garlands? For the deities, we need to have garlands. And then, for worshipping the deities, we need brahmanas. So Prabhupada is initiating. For some people, Prabhupada is giving first initiation. For some people, Prabhupada is giving second initiation. And for some people, Prabhupada is giving first initiation and second initiation together, same time. Actually, first initiation, second initiation together is a complete initiation, actually. But our system is first initiation you get after proving that you are following regulative principles and you are chanting 16 rounds regularly, and then you are doing a few more things, right? Like reading Prabhupada's books regularly, visiting the temple regularly, and serving devotees, serving the temple in the whatever possible way you can. And then if the temple is satisfied, then they recommend your name and you get initiated, first initiated. Then first initiation, then they see how you are progressing. They see that you are developing the right qualities of a Brahmana. Then they will, and the temple also has needs. Temple needs Brahmanas for cooking for the deity, for offering to the deity, and for doing arti and all. So they will recommend for second initiation as Brahmana. Then that happens, right? So here Prabhupada is not seeing anything. Whoever is there in the temple, Prabhupada is giving Diksha. Take it. First initiation, okay. Second initiation, okay. Both initiation, okay. Because temple, now it has become a temple. It's going to become Radha Krishna will be installed. So there should be regular worship. There should be regular cooking, bhoga offerings, dressing, festivals, everything should happen. So they are making garlands. Prabhupada taught them how to make garlands. And in the meantime, Prabhupada started lovingly bathing the deities Radha Krishna. Again, I am recollecting for all of you. They were there in the Bombay Pandal. After the Bombay Pandal, they shifted to Prabhupada's room. And when Prabhupada travels, the deities go with him. Now, finally, they are getting installed in Sydney temple. And there was a fire sacrifice. And after the fire sacrifice, the Prabhupada named the deities as Radha Gopinath. So, in Sydney, you have Radha Gopinath temple today, installed personally by Srila Prabhupada. Only thing, I don't think the temple is the same temple as before. No, I am sure there is a much, much bigger temple. Anyone has visited Sydney here? Either really or virtually has seen the temple, Sydney temple? I am sure it's a much, much bigger temple. And many more devotees who are all blessed by Srila Prabhupada. Right? So
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, there is one app called Krishna.
Yes.
In that app, they all over the world, all the temples of Radha Krishna Ishkon temples are posted in that app, Prabhuji. We can just go through it. All the temples all over the world is there. I saw that Sydney temple also in that
Super.
app.
So devotees.
So that app is called Krishna.
Okay, so devotees, you can all look up Sydney. You can just go into Google and click Sydney temple, it will come. You can see the Sydney temple. The temple you can see, the altar you can see, the devotees you can see. So you can now connect with them. How the Sydney temple started, 1971. Very old temple now, right? It's 53 years old today. So Prabhupada did fire sacrifice and the deity is installed. And Vaidevi Mataji is recollecting. Prabhupada was initiating everybody in the temple. Some of them had happened to be there only a few days. They were not even staying in the temple. They were coming and going, but Prabhupada initiated them also. One boy was there just a week before he had come. He doesn't even know Krishna consciousness. 1 week only. Prabhupada gave him also initiation. And he taught Vaibhavi Mataji how to make garlands. And they did not know anything about these things. She ran to the market, to the streets to find where she can get flowers. So she collected some flowers, then they will start making the garland. Because after bathing the deities, they'll be dressed and garland has to be there. So garlands are just getting ready. And sacred thread, because Prabhupada wants to give second initiation, Brahmin initiation. Sacred threads are not there. So what happened? Balimardan. He removed his sacred thread and gave it to Vaibhavi Mataji. Make threads like this for the Brahmins who are going to be initiated. So she ran to the streets again, collected some thread, and then she was making Brahmin thread. They did not know. They thought ladies also should wear it. But then later on they came to know, no. Vaibhavi Mataji can be a Brahmana without sacred thread actually. So like that, finally, the deity installation was done. Subsequently, Srila Prabhupada visited Sydney Grammar School. And in the grammar school, along with all the boys, Prabhupada had a kirtan within the school, in a queue, they were all following Prabhupada and they went round and round singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then there was a lecture program. Prabhupada made them do kirtan and Prabhupada taught them what is the soul, how the body is different from the soul, what is our connection to God, what is our eternal relationship of servanthood to God, what we will gain by realizing our true nature as spirit soul. All that he taught to the children very nicely through question answers. And he told the teachers, what is a first class religion? What is a first class religion? Anyone can tell? What is a first class religion?
Hare Krishna,
Following
Prabhuji. Krishna's, yes, Prabhuji. Krishna's align with the Lord's instructions, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavatam.
Correct. Very right. Yeah. So, a first class religion connects you to God in love. Right? It teaches you to love God unconditionally, without any motivation. Anya Abhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karmadi Anavradam, Anukulyena, Krishna Anushīlanam. Krishna is simply the name of God. So any religion that teaches you to love God unconditionally and Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. Right? This is a very famous shloka from first canto, right? Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhakti Radokshaje. Anyone knows this shloka? Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, please recite.
Savai pumsa paro dharma yato bhakti adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. 1.2.6 Prabhuji.
Meaning, Mataji.
Yeah, the important dharma for the humankind is unmotivated and unmotivated uninterruptedly doing devotional service to the Lord, Prabhuji.
And
That is the ultimate dharma. That is the ultimate
what
dharma.
does it do? What does it do?
And it gives yayati suprasida. Means it gives happiness, immense happiness, Prabhuji.
The
Yayatma
soul,
suprasidati.
exactly. The soul is inherently a happy creature, but we are not feeling that happiness. We are feeling some happiness followed by misery, happiness, misery. We are not established in our happiness, but ye anatma suprasidati, that soul which develops this love for God uninterruptedly, without any motivation, that soul attains success of life, which is it attains its original constitutional position of being Sachitananda. That soul becomes really happy. So that is first class religion. That's all. Now Prabhupada is asking, is it sectarian? Is it sectarian to tell everyone, Arey, you are not the body, you are a spirit soul. And as a spirit soul, you are simply part and parcel of the Supreme God. And your connection with God is that you are His eternal servant. So re-establish that connection with God. Start serving God. And how to serve God? Start repeating His holy names. All the powers of the Lord, His name, form, quality, paraphernalia, everything is there in His holy name. Chant the holy name. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Oh Lord, you have unlimited names, and in all your names you have invested all your potency. Right? Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Na Kala. You have invested And you have not put any conditions. Time and place. Any time I can chant, any place I can chant. But unfortunately, Durdaivam Idrisha Iha Jani Nanuraga. I don't have anuraga for chanting your holy name, unfortunately. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So this is the core. And where is sectarianism here? There is no sectarianism. All the names of God carry all the potencies of God. So Prabhupada would never say, I have come to convert Christians and Jews and Muslims to Hinduism. No. Prabhupada would not even say that we are Hindus. What Hindu? The moment you say Hindu, then Hindu versus Buddhist versus Christian versus Islam. No. We are all human beings. Savai Pumsam. Pumsam. Pumsam is a living entity. Yeah, a living entity. Where is the sectarianism here? Hindu, Christian, Islam. This is all sectarian. But Pumsam, it doesn't say for a Hindu. Not like that. So ours is the most non-sectarian mission. Unfortunately, the whole world sees ISKCON as most sectarian. See the fallen condition of people in this Kali Yuga? They think we are the most sectarian movement. Others, if you go to a mission, you will see nothing, empty walls, no pictures of God anywhere, no name of God anywhere. Simply, they will have an empty hall and everybody will be sitting cross-eyed and meditating. They will, I am God, I am God. Please understand. Others are absolutely useless. And they blame that ISKCON is sectarian. So much so that ISKCON finds very difficult to get any support from even corporates. Because corporate social responsibility, they make huge donations to hospitals which are run by other missions. Other missions, what do? They don't teach spirituality. They run hospitals, they run old age homes, they run homes for destitutes. What they don't do so that they can get some money. They get all these things and do completely material activities. But they call spiritual movements. They enjoy ATG exemptions for whatever they do. And they are all living royally, happily, with so much respect. And they get crores and crores of donations. I want to establish a hospital. Okay, take 10 crores. I want to buy an X-ray machine, more sophisticated. Come on, take 15 crores. I want an ambulance. Take a fleet of ambulance. What nonsense. Is it spiritual? Do you find anything spiritual in all these things? But today we are filled with such spiritual movements which only take donations. Government also gives donations and corporates also give donations. They're sitting pretty. Life is made. They recruit IITs. They recruit IIMs to run this show because big money is coming. They pay fat salaries. But ISKCON, you go, you are a Krishna movement, sectarian. We will not support you. If we support you, we won't get ATG exemption from the government. Anyway, part of the show. We are not a plastic shop. Let us be clear. We are a diamond shop. Diamond shop. Let us be happy with that. Prabhupada then went to a wayside chapel where he spoke to addicts. And one of the addicts asked, chanting Hare Krishna, what is the use? Prabhupada simply answered very sternly, it will save you from death. Can anyone explain this? Is it true what Prabhupada is saying?
Because there is no difference between Krishna and his name, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So that by that, when we continuously keep chanting at the time of death, we will be able to remember Krishna. That is Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam.
Yeah.
At least we'll be able to recall that through that mantra.
And then what will happen?
We will get that Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam, Teditante Kalevaram, Yah Prayati Samad Bhavam. That's okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, we will at the time of death we'll go to the Supreme Abode, Prabhuji.
Tam tam evaiti kaunteya tada
Tada sada tadbhava bhavita.
But the point is, yes, if you are constantly meditating on Krishna, then what will happen? Janma karma chame divyam yevan yo veti tattvada tattva deham punarjanma naiti. So we are saying punarjanma is not there. So what happens? The soul at the time of death, that means at the time of leaving the body, it goes straight back home, back to body. So it's not considered as death, you see. Please understand, because don't skip these points, saying that Prabhupada is exaggerating. How can you escape, save from death by Hare Krishna chanting? Let us understand clearly, because there seems to be some contradiction here. We see devotees are also dying. Are they not dying? Everybody will die. Prabhupada will also say that. Doesn't mean that we will not die. Everyone will have to die. And die means what? Leaving the body. But there is a difference between a devotee leaving body and non-devotee leaving body. Because non-devotee leaving body, he is going to take another birth and go towards death again. He is preparing for his next death. That means death to death to death, they keep moving. But when a devotee, he doesn't die. If you see in Bhagavatam, if you see in Dhruva Maharaj's story, you will see at the last moment when Dhruva Maharaj is going to leave, death personified comes and stands in front of him. And after worshipping all the devotees and senior people present there, Dhruva Maharaj steps on the head of death and enters into the rath that has come to take him to Vaikuntha. He is stepping. Anyone has read this part of Bhagavatam? Dhruva Maharaj? He is stepping on the head of the god of death and he enters. That means what? He is going beyond death, correct? So this is not death. A devotee, death is not death. This you should understand, because the body has become, the body has become spiritualized. That is one thing. The body has become spiritualized. The soul simply leaves back home, back to God. And even before leaving, the soul has already achieved its original Siddha Deha. The soul is no longer identified with the body. You know, Urvarugameva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyam Amrita. We say this, no? Mahamrityunjaya Shloka. What is that Mrityunjaya Shloka? Urvarugam Iva Bandhanat. That is a simile. What is that?
Mrityum haraschaham udbhavascha bhavishyata.
I am chanting this Mrityunjaya Shloka, you know, which is the Shaiva, it's the
Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvaruga bandhanat.
I am taking the second line only. Urvarugam Iva Bandhanat.
Yeah, like just like ripened fruit falling off from the tree by itself.
The ripened, see, it's a creeper that spreads on the ground only. It's a creeper. And on the creeper, there is this fruit, right? This cucumber fruit. As a cucumber fruit completely ripens, it is no longer connected. You touch it, it will come off. It will appear to be connected. It will appear to be connected, intact. But actually connection is lost. When you touch it, you will see the plant is not disturbed at all. The fruit is, yes, you have experience like this. The creeper is spreading on the floor and the fruit is also sitting there. And the fruit, when it is ripened, it has given up the connection. So that is the Mahamrityunjaya prayer. In Mahamrityunjaya prayer, you are making the same prayer. Like the cucumber fruit becomes free from the connection of the creeper, please liberate me. That is Mrityunjaya. Mrityu Jaya. That is Mrityunjaya. Like the God has conquered death, I want the same blessing from him that I should conquer death. How? I should separate from the body even when I am alive. When I am alive, I should separate from the body. Then, what is the meaning of death? You have conquered death. When you have separated from the body, even while you are alive, then what is the meaning of death to you? So when Prabhupada says, chanting Hare Krishna, what use? Saves you from death. How? Your soul will separate from the body even while you are alive. It will connect with Krishna. Then where is death? That is what Prabhupada is telling. So we should understand. We should not think that there is, someone wanted to say something. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. Jagat Sakshi Prabhuji used to use this like coconut shell, how it, when it...
that's another example, how it separates from the shell.
Yes,
so the kernel separates from the shell. So that is, I quoted this because this is a mantra which people chant. Mrityunjaya mantra people chant to overcome death. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarugam eva bandhanat mrityor mukshi yamamritat. It is actually a metaphor. The mantra contains a metaphor. Urvarugam. That fruit, how it separates from the creeper. So that is part of, so please understand, The Vedic wisdom, it has got so much power behind it. If we learn it properly under proper guidance, then it makes tremendous sense. So Prabhupada very crisply he answered, saves from death. So anyway, so after this, I will end here. Only one paragraph I am going to read for you from Prabhupada Leelamrit, and then we will close the session. We are already past our time. So Srila Prabhupada, the time was there for him to leave. Now Prabhupada is going to Calcutta. He was there in Sydney only 3 days. In these 3 days, from nothing, he has developed a temple. There are devotees now, first initiated, second initiated. They have been given some training, and Prabhupada is now leaving the deities in their hands. So Prabhupada is going to pray to the Lord. I will tell you how the Lord is praying. Right? How Prabhupada is praying to the Lord at the time of leaving. So, Prabhupada stood in front of the deities. The devotees in Sydney were particularly immature. And Prabhupada made an extraordinary request of Radha Gopinath. Prabhupada is praying loudly. Prabhupada is praying loudly. That's why this is there in the book. Now I am leaving you, he is telling Radha Gopinath, in the hands of the Malechas. I cannot take the responsibility. You please guide these boys and girls and give them the intelligence to worship you very nicely. This is a talk directly between Krishna and a pure devotee. So Prabhupada is praying, I am leaving them and leaving you with them. I cannot take responsibility beyond this. I have to travel more. I have so much more work to do. I am leaving it to you. Now you train them and take nice worship. As of now, they are untrained. Right? So this is what Prabhupada said, and then he left the temple. So Prabhupada knew the devotees were not up to the standard required for worshipping Radha Krishna. And he knew he was taking a risk, entrusting their worship to neophyte disciples. Yet, as an empowered Acharya and as a representative of Lord Chaitanya, he had to implement Krishna consciousness wherever it might take root. The world was in desperate need. If his disciples followed the process he had given them, chanting, hearing, observing regulative principles, he knew they would quickly become purified. Hare Krishna. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. I'm sorry I have taken more time. I did not even realize. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
in last class, you were speaking about Jai Prakash Swami Prabhuji and Radhanath Prabhuji and Bhanu Swami Maharaj. I was eager to know about all of them. I was just thinking, where can I get all the details about them? Because I cannot go through all the books of their, like you said, the Radhanath Swami's book, back to Journey to Godhead.
Yeah, journey home.
Yeah, that and all, because I have not yet even finished Prabhupada small books and big books, even Bhagavatam like that. So it will take very long time for me to go through all the other books like Jayapataka Swami, Radhanath Swami books and all. Because through this, if I'm able to know, though we are not that much fortunate to have direct relationship with the Prabhupada, we are very extremely fortunate in that, because we are having this direct disciples association, and we could see them directly and get their messages through Prabhupada and all that. So I feel that I'm getting all that messages about his disciples, like this Prabhupada's direct disciples through you in this Prabhupada Leelamrita. So I'm very much excited and I'm very much ecstatic to go and overwhelmed to hear about all this. So please keep telling about other devotees also in this. And last time I think Lakshmi Venkat Mataji was telling about Tamal Krishna Goswami also, Prabhu also, that I don't know anything about him, Prabhuji. So
you will
I
hear.
want to know.
We are coming.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you for
and
your.
we are very fortunate also to have you as our guide and guru to hear about all these things through you, Prabhuji. First, I feel we are very much indebted to you also in the first place to get all the information through you about all of them, Prabhuji.
What I am doing, I am just reading the book along with you and relishing what I am reading. That's all.
That's what Prabhupada also said, but we are getting the message through you and through you all only. No, otherwise we could not get all these details.
Thank you. Thank you. Please coming and keep encouraging, because without an audience, there is really no pleasure. We all are interested in Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, so that makes the whole thing very relishable for all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyayev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Gurudev ki jai.
Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Dandavat
pranam, Prabhuji.
pranams.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.